These books come from a series called Calpurnia Tate, Girl Vet. In this book, you meet the main character. Her name is Calpurnia Tate. She lives at the beginning of the 20th century, so around 1901, 1902, 1903, and she's growing up in a rural part of Texas. Calpurnia's dream is to grow up to be a vet. She lives with her family and her grandpa, and she and her grandpa are always talking about science, and Calpurnia really just wants to grow up to help animals. In the book that I read, this one right here called A Prickly Problem, Calpurnia's dad has this bird dog who is well known throughout the countryside, and people will offer her dad like hundreds of dollars for this dog every year because that's how good he is. And he will like go get birds, and it's just well known how good of a bird dog he is. But he is running into a problem. He's running into a prickly problem, and that is that he is attacking porcupines. Well, if you know what happens when you attack a porcupine, you know that this does not turn out well for the bird dog. And so it happens once, it's not that big a deal, but then one day Calpurnia and the dog are out exploring, and he attacks a porcupine, and it really just injures him really badly, and Calpurnia has to figure out how to save him because they're away from town, they're away from their home. She has to really think on her feet in order to save the bird dog. And so it's a story of how Calpurnia is able to use her wits and her knowledge of science and animals and her desire to be a veterinarian to help this dog. And I'm going to read a part of the text for you really quickly from A Prickly Problem. It says, "One thing I've learned is that some dogs are pretty smart and some dogs are pretty dumb. And most of the time, it's not too hard to tell the difference between them. I've learned that people are like that too. But with some dogs, well, you just never know what you're getting. I'm thinking here of Ajax, my father's prize bird dog. You'd think a dog that won prizes for hunting birds would at least have a little common sense, wouldn't you? You probably would. I know I sure did, until that dumb dog proved me wrong in a really big way. Let me tell you about it." This is a really good book for second and third grade. It kind of has those features that I always tell you all about, is it still has lots of really good pictures, but also pages with like really big text. So this series is called Calpurnia Tate, Girl Vet. There are at least 3 of them: A Prickly Problem, Who Gives a Hoot, and Skunked. And you can find them in our library. So I hope you like them.